I want to tell you about the story where I have discovered the very roots of suffering. And it was very interesting because I didn't know the teachings of the Buddha where he was. You can just Google what's the root of suffering. You will find some teachings from the Buddha, but it was very interesting to me to find out the very root of it on my own, because it just randomly kind of happened. And it's funny because I took LSD with a friend, and she was sort of minding her own business, but I was starting to think, about life. And I was like, wait. And that was before my awakening. I was like, wait, isn't there just one problem we all have? We don't realize it. It's like if we could just eliminate suffering, is it just suffering? That's the problem. And I was sitting there thinking, grabbing my little goat beard here, and I was thinking, what is suffering? Isn't that the cause of, the reason why we can't just live in paradise? It's because of sufferings. But what is suffering? And I asked my friend, do you have an idea? And she was like, no. She wasn't even interested in that topic at all. She was somewhere else with her mind. But at first I was thinking of all the knowledge I have gathered. Do I remember someone telling me why suffering is, even existent? And I didn't find information in my brain, so I investigated right here, right now. Like, what's here? Why? I mean, even though there's no reason to suffer, I had this subtle feeling of something isn't right, and it's always present. It's always present. This feeling of something's missing, something's not right. I'm not fulfilled yet, but you don't question it normally because it seems to be normal because everyone's having it. No one's talking about it, but everyone's having it. But I was really investigating. Then it came like a flash. I told my friend, I feel like I exist, and it's a catastrophe. I don't like that feeling of existing. It's this feeling of I exist. And she was like, oh my God, yeah. I also feel like I exist, and I hate it. We hated this feeling of existing. And I was wondering, is that the cause of all suffering? Because there's a me, and it's immortal. It dies. It can die, and it can fall apart, and it can have pain. And I feel like I have to, I have to protect it, but I can't because I'm weak. I'm just one human in a whole world of danger, And it feels like I exist, and I don't like it. I have to protect something I cannot protect. So now we were both thinking, it's like, can we get rid of that thing? I on that day, or it was night, that night, I realized that, the cause of suffering must be just the fact, thought it was a fact, the fact that I exist. So I knew that. But I didn't know that there's a way out. There's a way out. The feeling of I exist is a mere delusion. Right now I don't feel that I exist in a dangerous world. I just feel like there is only existence. There's only life. It's not my life. I have a life. It doesn't feel like I have a life. I feel like life has me. There's only life. And it came as soon as I stopped protecting my me. Stopped protecting it because I had no willpower left. It was the end of the road. Thought, okay, life, do whatever you want. And I gave up, stopped protecting my little me, and found out that life is taking care of me. It's taking care of me. I'm letting go. And it truly feels like, when I feel like I exist, I have to protect myself. I am playing God. And as long as I play God, the real God cannot intervene and just save me, I have to let go and realize that I cannot sustain my own life. So I stopped, dropped, and God was taking over at this point. Now life is living me. I'm not living life. So the root of suffering is to think that I exist. Now I know I don't exist. Because what am I? What am I? What did I think I was? It's just a bundle of thoughts that are coming and going, and feelings that are coming and going, and my body was small, now it's big, and it will fall apart in the future. And there's no constant. Even the consciousness that's aware of the things is, it's, how should I describe that? There's a feeling that consciousness is eternal, but if you're conscious of consciousness, then you are not consciousness. You're something that cannot be named. As soon as you're naming what you are, you're not that. You're not it. Trying to figure out who you are, trying to figure out how to end suffering is already the suffering. You are not living, you are trying. But you cannot impose your will on your life and say, now I want to end suffering and then now I want to live. It doesn't work this way. If you can, it's okay. It's cool. It's cool if you can. But in my experience, it doesn't work like that. So what would I suggest if you still think that you exist as a person? Is just investigate who that person is, and then also don't think that it's your doing. Just realize that whatever is happening through this body is happening anyway. You are being lived, so all you have to do is trust. It's just that, trust. And on your way, you will get all the information you need. If you're hungry, you will find food automatically. If you're thirsty, you will find water. If you are ignorant, you will automatically get some information. Life is sustaining itself. You don't have to worry.